Right, hello everyone, Ian here. How you doing today? Today I'm going to be reacting to Chills' channel. You guys know me, I like watching the top 15 channel. If you don't know who it is, this is the channel here I'm on about, top 15. And I've only just discovered that Chills actually has his own YouTube channel. Separate from top 15, which I actually didn't know. Yeah, look, you see, like, I actually didn't know. So, yeah, the one that I'm going to be watching is this one here. So I just want to check to see. I thought my mum that was going to come in or something then. Let's. Oh, there we go, okay. I'll leave it like that. That's fine for now, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, let's watch this then. This advert, every damn time. Hold on, can you, yeah, you can hear me, okay. Same advert every pigging time, like, I'm not even joking. Watch. Same one again. Nintendo. I'm fine with that.
If you've ever wondered what type of videos creep me out the most, here.
By the way, if you're wondering how you can see me with a dark video, I'm using a white. I've actually changed the. I'll show you. I'll just show you what I'm doing basically. It's better to show you than me try to explain it and able to stream because you your Xbox up. Ah, there we go. I was say then, like, what the hell. So yeah, that's what I'm doing basically. I've actually got a. Ooh, hold on a minute. Turn you on. I've actually got a white picture that's just playing on Windows Media Player. So yeah, let's turn the mouse off. I just want to let you guys know that's how I'm doing it. And yeah, let's keep going.
Here they are. The possibility of any of these videos coming true is enough to personally keep me awake at night. Number 11. A team of ghost investigators patrol through a dark farmhouse at 3 a.m. and set up their equipment. Suddenly, their thoughts are interrupted by an overwhelmingly powerful force.
Over here. To jump up here.
What's that?
Ow, my ears.
An adjacent door flies open soon as they shine their flashlight up into the attic. The team feels like they are being watched from something outside. They're talking about what to do next when they witness another display of brute force.
We get to experience an EVP session in a creepy abandoned house.
Something smashes the window out and they see what appears to be a white apparition slowly walking away. The object has no distinct shape and somehow seems to be both near and far at the same time.
I know I keep pausing it, but I wanna. That looks a little bit better, actually. Yeah. What else is it? Oh yeah. Give me a minute because I want to show you guys that this can be watched at 60 FPS, but so yeah, just give me a minute. HD resolutions. HT, no HD. Yes, the smallest is what I've got, which is 720p at the minute. Yeah, so I'll try and put it at 60 FPS. And be right back. Yeah, so I'm back. This camera is actually just 30 FPS. There's nothing I can do about that. But yeah, as you can see, everything's working still. So yeah, let's continue.
Time.
What's that? Holy sh! Somebody out there!
All of them scramble to the car and take one last look as they leave. It's really hard to see, but zoom in on the window and you'll see a head move away on the left side. Let me know if you see what I mean or not. Before we go any further, it's approved.
And before we go any further, I need to sort out this flipping cushion. It's killing my backside. Ow! Ow, my finger. And no, I couldn't see what he meant because the video looked too dark. Not dark as in dark evil, but I mean like dark as in you actually couldn't see anything. Let's flip that around. Flip that around. Ding. I should have done this sooner, but it didn't hurt at the time, but now it flipping kills. Oh. Come on. Hopefully you could hear exactly what I was saying. That's already much better, without a doubt. Let me check to see how well the stream's going. Yeah, it's higher than normal, blah blah blah, I don't give a damn. Oh, whatever.
In fact, that generosity makes you a happier person. So if you're generous enough to hit the subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. Number 10. Salvador Miglino goes to pick up his child for a custody visit, but finds his mother-in-law waiting for him instead. After a brief argument, she brandishes a piece and fires twice at close range.
Oh no! I can't believe you did that! I can't believe you did that! What, are you crazy?
It's pretty obvious that Salvador is the one who is innocent, but his mother-in-law lies to the 911 operator and says that she was acting in self-defense. She is completely unaware that the whole incident was recorded.
Or you pulled the gun on him?
No, he pulled it on me and he's got it. He drove away.
I think she sounds very convincing and could have possibly framed Salvador if not for the video he took. Salvador survives, but the mother-in-law could face up to 30 years for doing this. Tell me what you think her...
What an absolute idiot. Why? Exactly why? People like her pee me off so much, it's unreal. Oh yeah, you can see, I feel like I'm leaning too low, so that's why I'm constantly checking because I'm not too sure. Actually, hold on. Ooh. Be right back. Actually, no, I don't have to. Hold on. I'm just glad that the man actually recorded it, you know, instead of just running away and not doing anything about it. Oh, for God's sake, man. What was his name? Pefador or something like that, weren't it? I don't know. How does that look to you guys? Is that alright? I hope so. Yeah.
Sentence should be based on the video evidence. Number 9. This next video, made to raise awareness, is supposed to replicate voices in your head. Among the many visual and audio delusions is one in particular that really gets to me. A girl with no eyes who appears at random. The girl with no eyes is apparently very common and reported by many. The following scene is an example of how she usually comes to them, or rather for them.
She is here.
Nowhere is safe from the girl with no eyes, because once she is in your mind, there's nowhere to hide. This is what it's supposed to be like when she finds you. No one knows why so many people have reported seeing the exact same figure. Maybe it's a subconscious manifestation of a common fear we all have. Or maybe it's some type of possession that's driving people to madness. If this video is just a simulation, then I can only imagine how terrifying the real thing must be face to face. Number 8. Caught on a...
Hold on, I'm pausing it for a minute because I want to see... Yeah, what I'm seeing right now is more clear than what you guys are seeing, and it's at 1080p, which is the highest it can go, so it's definitely the clearest. So yeah, just letting you guys know.
Canary home security camera. This cam caught 2 men entering into a home at night through a window in the kitchen. The shadows of the intruders can be seen moving room to room before their pacing finally wakes the homeowner. He triggers the alarm and it sends the men fleeing.
I love the buckle detail on these, and they're super comfy. The eyelets give them kind of a punky...
It appears these men were never caught, and this video just goes to show how easily someone can enter your house at night. Next time you hear a weird noise, there's a chance it could be someone entering through a window. Number 7.
Alright, so now that I know that it works okay, I'm just going to uncrop everything and make it look normal again. Give me a minute. I know I keep pausing and starting the video, but I just have to check to see if everything's working fine or not. And by the looks of it, it looks like it is, so... Oh god. Bit of lag, but
What you are hearing is the heavy breathing of a man who took the lives of 14 people. This message was left on the answering machine of one of his targets during the 70s. It's clear that he's trying to instill as much fear as possible before his next strike. He wants the person and the community at large to know what's going to happen to all of them, and he savors their fear. The message is so over the top that I think most people would have had a hard time believing it was real. But if you ever receive a message like this one, remember that there are people out there who are not fooling around and will hold themselves to their word. Number 6. Jay Duncan is at home with his wife and daughter. When he looks out his door and sees a total stranger in rough shape, the man is having a fast-paced conversation with no one but himself, and he can't hold still for a single second.
I'm gonna put it back down because I feel like the computers are lagging too much. I mean, if it isn't, then that's great, but I'm just a little worried, so I'm just gonna put this back down, and yeah, I'll be right back when it, you know, works again. Right, there we go, perfect. God, is this okay? Hopefully you could hear exactly what I was saying. That's already... Hold on a minute. Yeah, there we go.
He's just out there, man. He just won't go away.
When he finally notices Jay a full minute later, his first move is to immediately try the door. I can only imagine what this intruder would have done next had he gotten inside. Instead, he throws his hands up in exasperation, as if they have no right to keep their front door locked. He barks a series of threats and demands to be let in. I think he basically says he's through playing games with them, whatever that means. They snicker at him through the door until he gives up and gets into a relatively upscale truck to leave. Obviously, if he has a truck, then he also has a warm place to stay, which makes me wonder why he wanted to get into Jay Duncan's home to begin with. I think that maybe this person might have been out of their mind and thought they were outside of their own home. If so, I really hope they don't come back when Jay Duncan is asleep at night and try the same again. Number 5. Okay, here's a weird one. The closet door in this bedroom keeps opening by itself, but before I even get into that, look what happens with the lamp. Somehow the bulb becomes extremely bright and goes back to normal despite lacking a dimmer switch. After that, the closet door swings open seemingly all by itself. Tell me if you see any signs of human interference here, because I see none whatsoever.
There it goes. And as you can see, there's nothing there.
I thought they were using a hook or something on the bottom right to pull the door open, but when I watched again I saw it was just a power strip running to the lamp. If anything, the door actually moves the strip out of the way, not the other way around. The closet looks too full to hold another item, but who knows what else was in there staring at them from the other side. Number 4. This video will definitely make you want to double check all of your wiring in your home. Eric McGregor takes one look at this discolored brown outlet and identifies a major problem.
It's catching on fire.
Amber sparks shoot out of the middle of a frayed wire that is still hot and fully charged. It looks like the wall is going to catch on fire at any moment, especially here 23 seconds into the video. Eric calmly unscrews the outlet and plucks it free from the wall, which in turn trips the breaker and turns off all the power. I don't know if this is the safest solution, so you definitely shouldn't consider this video to be a tutorial of any kind, but his strategy does seem to work in this specific instance. Sometimes these kind of faulty wires can go undetected for months or even years. All it takes in the meantime is one random spark, especially late at night, to change everything forever. Number 3.
That's actually what happened to my stepdad's dad, who isn't here anymore. I used to call him Grandpa, but he actually wasn't blood related to me. And my uncle is called Chris. He, sometime a few years ago, he actually had a really old microwave that actually caught fire but nearly burnt the entire house down. And he had 2 dogs, and sadly he lost both of them. Thankfully my uncle Chris was out at the time, getting a fat band put inside of him to try and help him lose a bit of weight, but on the same night I think he had it, that the fire happened. So yeah, you just have to really be careful with what you're doing. New, old, whatever. You just have to be extremely careful.
3. If the backstory to this video is real, then none of the friends you are looking at here are still alive. Their families gave police permission to release this video in hopes of solving what happened to them. At some point during their final car ride together, they go through a lonesome old tunnel in the middle of a private country road. They don't think much of it until they come across the same tunnel again, and then a third time. They're driving in a straight line and not a circle. Yet this creepy location keeps greeting them as if they never left. It only gets worse when the engine stops working. If you think this video is fake, then please take a moment and tell me how they were able to make it look like their car breaks down.
Just over here, I don't want to see.
Anyway, not too long after their car stops working, a song skips on the radio and this figure heads straight their way. And when the car works, they go to reverse. You can see the figure immediately appears behind them in return. I think this last part looks like it could be an amateur horror movie, to be honest, but tell me if this part is editing or not, and then we'll know the real truth. Number 2. YouTube won't even let me utter the name of this next video, but you probably are already familiar. More and more videos of innocent shows on YouTube are being infiltrated by this horrifying character who is bent on separating people from their innocence. One moment you're watching a normal video, the next moment this floating head fills the screen. And when that happens, she threatens you into submitting to a quote-unquote challenge. Otherwise there will be dire consequences.
If you don't do it, I'll get you while you sleep.
And she will stay patiently to make sure you do each and every last step correctly under her incessant gaze. Even if this is just the work of some very twisted sickos, the thought of people obeying will definitely keep me awake at night. We never know where she will pop up or what she will ask them to do next. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. Are you curious about what I look like in real life? Then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillin. So don't forget
I feel like I'm watching the top 15 channel instead of the actual Chills channel. Like I said, by the way, this is the actual Chills channel, not the top 15 one.
uploaded. In 2014, this man took the lives of 12 people in a movie theater. This psychiatrist on YouTube every Thursday and Saturday. Number 1. In 2014, this man took the lives of 12 people in a movie theater. This psychiatrist interview after his arrest was recently released to the public. The purpose of this interview was to see if he was fit for trial, and the hour-and-a-half glimpse inside of his mind is horrifying. The scariest and most noticeable thing about him is his complete lack of emotion. He seems lost in a state of permanent disinterest, so much so that the psychiatrist can't seem to figure out what was going through his mind when it all went down.
No, I wasn't very nervous. I was prepared.
Exhilaration?
No, none of that.
Caution?
No.
Even though he shows no outward remorse, James does reveal that he called an emergency hotline minutes before going into the theater. For whatever reason, nobody answered the call.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Sorry that I keep pausing it again, like I said. I need to sit up and move forward. It's really hurting.
For 9 seconds and then it hung up.
They might have not been able to convince him to change his mind, but they could have at least gotten his location and sent the police out to stop him. It's sickening to think that this could have been prevented with a simple phone call. Some people say these videos are real and others don't. All I know is that when I read the comments, even the skeptics couldn't explain what happened.
keep watching these. I like watching stuff like this.
Some people say these videos are real and others don't. All I know is that when I read the comments, even the skeptic...
Whoa.
Some people say these videos are real and others don't. All I know is that when I read the comments, even the skeptics couldn't explain what happened. That means it's now up to us to decide. Number 11. This video takes place somewhere in the South American country of Chile during the middle of a street race. A number of cars rush past and soon an animal randomly materializes without making so much as a sound. Watch again in slow motion, and it really does appear as though the dog steps out of an invisible portal. You can see its front half emerge first, followed by the torso and back legs. Then again, the blurred edges around the dog's body does look like it could be made through editing. I am not an expert in video editing though by any means, so let me know if you think this is real or CGI and how you could tell the difference. Number 10. This live television news report catches a strange change in the reporter's face that has been causing a major online debate ever since. Watch their eyes closely or you might miss it.
Forces and protecting the population and minimizing civilian casualties have long been a cornerstone of the counterinsurgency.
Somehow the reporter's eyes change from dark brown to a much brighter color with completely white irises. Large dark rings appear under her eyes as well. A growing number of people claim this is a demonic possession. I think the most obvious answer is a simple camera glitch, but even after thousands of views since 2010, no skeptic has fully been able to specifically explain what caused the broadcast error. Until then, the skeptics can't fully explain this video. Number 9. This Colombian video from 2008 is apparently the last footage taken by 4 men that disappeared, found inside an abandoned car. The footage shows the men driving towards a strange person dressed in all white, possibly a wedding dress.
Arranca. No, despacio, haga despacio. Esa mierda, huevón, haga despacio.
They slowly approach the person and attempt to drive around them, and that's where the video ends. What happens next is a complete mystery, since this was the only footage found. Skeptics have been unable to debunk this video, or find the whereabouts of the disappeared men that were mentioned. It appears whoever was standing on the road that night will remain a mystery. Number 8. Lori Lee Craig and her husband have a bad feeling about a mysterious handprint on their wall that neither one of them can explain.
Okay, because it's like you can't see it, and then suddenly it's there. And there's no way.
As you can hear in the background, their child has been crying all day, but there's nothing normal about this behavior at all. Listen for yourself.
Stairs. Can you move up a little bit? So even if you stood on the stairs, because there's a handprint, you can't reach it.
The two worried parents walk around the house to see if they can find what's wrong. That's when they notice this strange handprint above their child in an impossible to reach corner of the stairway.
This thing is 6 feet above the stairway.
I wasn't sure what to make of this video until I kept hearing the shrieks of this poor little girl. No skeptic can explain these cries of pure terror. It sounds like the spirit is still in front of her doing who knows what. Number 7. This clip was supposedly taken from live television after a spat of bad weather left these neighborhood homes destroyed. Among the wreckage, you can see a man in a green shirt turn towards the ruins of his house and then fade away.
Hopefully, they either were in a safe spot or away from their homes, and they have this to...
Whoa. Whatever.
clean up.
If this video really was taken from a live television broadcast, then there should have been no way for this to happen. I really wish we could have seen this person's full room to provide that they were recording their screen live. Number 6. This video is said to originate from within the woods of Conclain, Canada. A group of workers are filming an outdoor job site when a gigantic unseen threat rocks them from above. I guess I'm a bit skeptical here, because the birds continue to chirp during and after the noise. I would think that a scream loud enough to shake the camera would send all nearby birds flying away because of the intense vibrations. Still, the scream sounds like it's real and coming from all over. If it was a fake, then it wouldn't make sense to have such good sound editing equipment while using a low resolution camera. The comments section of this video proposes everything from aliens to lost souls, but if this is an amateur production, then even the skeptics have yet to show an original source.
Hello? I have okay sound, but I have a rubbish camera. They could have just used an external microphone and must have been, you know, a good microphone with a rubbish camera. That's all. It's not that hard to bloody explain.
5. Behind this bed, there used to be a door. Look closely to the left of the lamp here and you'll see the outline where it was painted over. There's just one problem. Apparently something on the other side doesn't understand that this is no longer a passageway. The knocking sounds polite yet urgent, definitely human. It really does sound like someone who believes that they belong in this room and expects to be let in at any moment. It seems like her problem is not going to go away on its own anytime soon. I really wouldn't want to see what's inside of that wall, but it might be the only way to end the problem for good, or maybe make it way worse. 4. A YouTuber named Gothboy Prince is playing with a Ouija board that refuses to cooperate with the camera. Apparently the pointer moves on its own, but only when he's not recording.
Hello?
Knocking on the Ouija board isn't the only way he shows disrespect. He tries to badmouth the spirit into moving the pointer on camera for proof.
I think you're a coward. That's what I think it is. I think you're nothing but a coward.
Less than 10 seconds later, he gets a silent reply.
It's moving.
At one point, Gothboy Prince hears a noise and looks up. You can see that he's sitting in bed with the Ouija board on his lap. There's absolutely no room for anyone to be controlling the pointer with a magnet from underneath, so that explanation is out. You can also see that he is alone and no one is in front of him pulling a string. As if all of this weren't already bizarre enough.
You see this?
Same advert, isn't it? Yep.
Ready, set, go!
What the hell was that bang? Sorry that took a while then. Went to the toilet and came back. Should have told you guys, but yeah.
The pointer moves too frequently and in too many different directions to be done with a string, which by the way would be...
Huh?
You sure it wasn't a firework?
No, 'cause it came from over there.
Oh, it might have been the telly then, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not sure, mate.
be clearly visible from this close of a distance away. Even paranormal skeptics can't explain how this pointer was able to move with no one nearby. But if you think you can, I would really like to hear the real reason. Number 3. For over 30 years, a woman named Stella Lansing had visions beyond her explanation. She was surprised to find these strange occurrences could be recorded and shared with others through basic camera equipment, like this transparent man with a long face and beard, or these men standing closely together, the third of which looks certainly off. People began to doubt her as her popularity spread, so to satisfy her skeptics, Stella began recording with as many different types of cameras as she could find, and things just became weirder from there. This voice, for example, was supposedly recorded using an 8mm camera that could not detect sound. Also, keep in mind that this was decades ago before video editing equipment was available to the public, which is why I think this is probably real. After a while, she began to record strange rectangular disc-like shapes around everyday objects like airplanes. Experts at the time were unable to explain how some of these shapes appeared to literally move between the frames of film themselves in a way that is not technologically possible. Only major movie studios would be able to do something like this, and even then it wouldn't look the same. And when you zoom in these strange shapes, you can see they actually appear to be tiny floating aircrafts of some kind. Let me know if you can see what I'm talking about. And more importantly, if you believe what Stella claimed to have regularly seen. Number 2. The world is filled with lost radio signals from long ago. One of these many mystery stations was this broadcast from East Germany that started in the 1970s. We still don't know what it was, only that it sounded like it could drive a person to madness if they listened for long enough. Every so often, the overwhelming wall of noise would give way to a group of men singing in twisted voices. Maybe it's just me, but this almost sounds like some kind of ancient ritual or chant.
Might be a radio glitch.
The broadcast abruptly stopped in 1990 after about 20 years. Give me your best guess as to what this broadcast was used for, because I haven't the slightest clue. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow up the circle icon. It's a proven fact that button and the bell beside it, then thank you. This way you'll be notified.
Come on, Chills.
Number 1, a YouTuber named Matthew Van Hughes is enjoying.
Same video?
Ready, set, go!
Don't care.
Nature when he hears a loud voice of someone who apparently isn't. Listen to this part and tell me if you can literally hear the word help being said, because I think I can. The sound quiets down and then switches over to something far less human. Skeptics think that this is some kind of wild animal, but I think I can hear English being spoken here, but I can't tell what. Maybe the words "don't take me." Let me know what you hear. When he gets to the bottom off the cliff, nothing is there. Matthew waits for an hour and doesn't hear anything else, so he leaves whatever it was to take their final breaths. All of the creatures on this list.
Let's subscribe. Yeah. why not? I want to react. I genuinely want to react to some of these, but
all of the creatures on this list look or sound like they could be not human. Our job is to analyze these videos and decide who had the real encounters. Number 11. A YouTuber named Cringy Parkour thinks he hears a scream from within the mouth of a sewer pipe and stands outside contemplating what to do. He walks into the pipe for about half a minute and comes across one of the most authentic looking creatures that I've seen so far.
What the? Hello?
There's very little to make me believe this video is fake. You only see it for a split second, but the creature has glowing eyes and what appears to be long, sharp teeth. The audio really does match the overall timing of the video, and the creature's screams echo loudly and realistically as it gives chase. I really hope that this video is fake, and that this was just one of his friends, but something tells me this was probably real. Number 10. Two friends hear something large running across the roof of their home, so one grabs a camera and bravely heads into the night. He scans the rooftop with his flashlight and the beam floats across the oversized pink head of a wild creature that has no fur.
Wait a minute. Hey!
He climbs onto the roof to get a better look at the creature, but when he gets up there, it's gone. Little does he know that it is stalking him from an unseen vantage point the entire time.
Where did it go?
The crouching humanoid looks to be half the size of a normal person. It regards him with cold, beady eyes that are low and close together like those of a wild animal. Zoom in and you'll see that this is either CGI or a real creature. The skin is way too tight to be a mask. Many say that this is the Rake, a pale, mythological creature that attacks without warning. Let me know what you think this is, and if this person was moments away from being a goner. Number 9. A YouTuber named David Rebordeo hears noises coming from an attic and decides to go up and investigate for himself. Here you can see they are both far away from the source of the noise, and they're not pretending to hear something. David videos the upstairs for a while and doesn't come across much. He passes the camera and starts to climb down the ladder. All of a sudden, the equipment makes a buzzing sound not found in any other part of the video. That's when the noisemaker reveals itself and nearly makes physical contact. It's hard to say if this was a person or some sort of ghostly ghoul. The buzzing noise makes me think that this was a paranormal disturbance, but I guess this could have been CGI, so let me know what you think it was. Number 8. A large white creature has been constantly creeping around the yard of a YouTuber named Sans for a long time now, and no one knows what it is. The latest sighting happens during broad daylight, and his camera is able to pick up more detail than ever before. You can see here that the creature is not very big, roughly around the same size of a nearby dog, and judging from this dog's behavior, I'd say this is clearly a real creature and not one of his friends wearing a costume. If you need more proof that this isn't a person, watch how it scratches its head with its foot at a weird angle. No human would be able to kick that fast. I would say that this is a rabbit, but I don't really see any ears and the legs look distinctly human when it walks.
Thanks. Whatever.
Tell me what animal you think this is. Until I get a better explanation, I will continue thinking that this is probably a humanoid of some kind. Number 7. This video is taken one summer on Vancouver Island in Canada. A YouTuber named Mushmasta is on a hike when he sees a huge humanoid creature that he still can't explain to this day over 10 years later. According to Mushmaster, the creature was 7 feet tall and stood on its hind legs to stare at him, but by the time he started recording, it was already hunched over and taking off. At first I thought it was a bear, but look closer and you can almost make out the upper body of a human, especially the shoulders. It looks far more human than a bear judging from the way it walks away. In the end the creature chooses to leave Mushmaster alone in the woods, wondering what he had just encountered. Let me know what you think it was based on the brief video that I have shown you. No one has been able to solve this in over a decade.
A monkey, depending on where they live. Might be a monkey. They have similar shoulder things.
Number 6. A YouTuber named Dachi YT is standing at the edge of an underground tunnel when something completely unexpected comes up running to him. The real question is whether this is a friend playing a joke or if this is a creature that was once human. The noise it makes sounds like someone struggling to make a sentence, so maybe this person has lost their minds or is even under the effects of a possession. The small steps it takes are creepy, and it's hard to tell if he's doing them involuntarily or on purpose. Lastly, its eyes glow in the dark despite a lack of light. I want to believe it's fake, but I think the glowing red eyes indicate otherwise. Number 5.
So I'm hearing really weird noises outside and I'm kind of freaked out because it's late and they're really weird.
A YouTuber named Shadow of Joey has been hearing some strange disturbances outside of his window and decides to make a quick video about it. He summons all of the courage in his body and makes himself open the window while recording. This bizarre 3-second sighting is what he finds. A shrill warning call fills the night as a dark figure scurries by his window on all fours. This could be some kind of wild creature, but the feet look to be in the shape of shoes. It's likely that this video is just a friend wearing all black clothing and covering their face. With that said, maybe it was somebody possessed, or even the rake taking on its human form. Shadow of Joey wisely decides not to pursue the creature to get more video evidence, so we may never know the real story for certain. Number 4. This YouTube channel is dedicated to finding a local legend known only as the Clover Forest creature. Two friends are investigating an area of the woods where the last sighting was reported when they detect what appears to be a pair of eyes staring at them from across a creek.
Whoa, get down. Oh my god, that's it. I think so.
At first I thought this could just be one of their friends wearing a mask with glowing red eyes, but watch this next part and tell me what you think. The eyes briefly go away and then reappear, which makes me think that this creature is blinking.
No, keep your light on it, keep your light on it.
Soon the Clover Forest creature walks away and is not seen again. It's too bad that they didn't have a high beam flashlight to shine across the creek and solve the mystery once and for all. Still, tell me whether you think this video is scripted or real based on the 11 seconds of video I was able to show. Number 3. A YouTuber named LaxRebel225 is playing a video game at home when he hears something loudly bust through the front door. He's frantically looking from room to room when finally he hears it making a racket again, this time from the kitchen.
Same advert again, watch.
When he crosses into the kitchen, nothing is to be found. Instead, he hears it again from behind. I'm not sure why he stomps his foot here. If he's trying to scare the creature away, it doesn't work. LaxRebel does a full circle around his home and ends up standing just outside of the kitchen again. He seems to get a bad feeling and hesitates. That's when this inhuman noise fills his house.
What?
The creature seems to say something in a chittering language that almost sounds like an evil laugh. Then it leaves his home, shutting the door behind itself. Maybe I'm just overthinking, but the alien's voice sounds very high quality, like way too good for the average YouTuber to edit into their video with home equipment. As much as I don't want to admit it, I think this video could be real based on the creepy laughter alone. Still, I'd definitely like to know what you think after watching this video. I'm especially looking for the opinions of people who have experience with audio engineering. Number 2. A YouTuber named Maddie Ann thinks she sees something walking around her backyard, so she grabs a camera and a high-powered flashlight and sets out to record it. By the time she gets outside, she doesn't see it anymore, so she starts scanning the yard with her light to see if it will move again. The disfigured and misshapen shadow is what she finds. You can see it peeking from around a tree for a second before ducking back into the darkness. The shadow is not really the right size for a human, and the head appears to be bald and shaped oddly. What's really weird is how the camera captures no features. If this was a person, then you should be able to see more details under the light. After all, the camera is able to pick up the brown color of the tree, so you would think that the person behind it would show some color too. Instead, Maddie Ann passes over a creature with a blank face. I don't think this was one of her friends, though I guess it could be someone wearing a costume with black mesh over the face. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. If corner that general the new a YouTuber named Seco Dane is with a group of friends who are ready to explore an old creepy tunnel. They keep running out because they think they see something inside, but nothing shows up on camera until their 4th and final attempt. First, they hear it before they see it. It sounds a lot like the other rake videos in my opinion, but let me know what you hear.
What is that?
They remain at the mouth of the tunnel while the creature slowly walks towards them, making those sounds all the while. They clearly get the creature on video once and for all, but not without risking their lives first.
What?
The shrieking monster is all gray and stands upright like a human. It's hard to say whether this was their friend or an actual sewer mutant. Their reactions of excitement and disbelief sound real, at least compared to most other videos, so I'm inclined to believe this was an actual creature they spotted at random. The scary things were found frozen. Someone—
Shut up. I really want to watch it now, but I feel exhausted. Forget it, let's watch it. This will be the last one, then I'll go to bed. So watch, same advert.
Ready, set, go!
The scary things were found frozen, some on purpose and some completely on accident. Let's take a thorough look and closely question each find. Number 13. When a snowstorm blows over the San Luis Valley, it's up to a YouTube channel called Colorado Gators to save the farm. As their name suggests, these outdoorsmen are the only ones willing to risk their lives to save frozen alligator livestock. After searching for a while, one of them finally comes across a frozen gator with its nose still sticking out of the ice. Now all they need to do is dig it out and move it to warmer waters, using their bare hands of course. Keep in mind the creature is only slowed down and not completely frozen. I am amazed at how calm he remains the entire time, feeling around in the water for an alligator he can't even see. Watch this part and tell me if you would be brave enough to get this close. Frozen or not, I don't think I would want anything to do with this situation. Number 12. This Chicago police body cam shows multiple officers rushing to save a man and his dog from freezing in Lake Michigan. From a distance, it looks like the distressed person is trapped on a snowbank at first.
Sir! Someone over here!
But as the officer approaches, you can see the person is actually waist deep in freezing waters and ready to go under. The officers quickly extend a rescue cord for him to tie onto, and they yank him to safety with one strong pull.
Come on! Hold me! Got this! Hold me! There we go. You're good. Come on! You're good. Thank you so much. You're good.
Thankfully, they are able to do the same with the dog as well. I'm guessing that he was walking his dog along the edge of the water for a nicer view when the snow gave way. The cold water must have left him practically frozen from the waist down and unable to climb out. Let me know if you agree whether or not that's what probably happened. Number 11.
Yeah, probably.
This video reportedly comes from somewhere in Siberia. Two friends have a concerned conversation and walk to a tree. Buried in the snow is a tiny humanoid creature that doesn't look to be of this world. Try to translate what they are saying if you can, and maybe we can figure out if this is fake or real. The color and texture of this discovery is convincing. It appears to be missing a leg as well. If this is a prop, then it looks very realistic. If this is real, who knows how long it's been left out here, or what horrors it could bring. Number 10. A news reporter gets an early morning scare after the cold weather almost costs him his life.
What happened here? I'm standing. Look down here. You see that? That's an icicle that went drilling right to the ground. Yeah.
You know what?
He's in the middle of setting up the camera shot when a giant dagger-like icicle drops from about 15 stories above and lands directly next to him. Here you can see the frozen shard of ice is over 2 feet long and would have easily ended him had he had just been standing a few feet over. I really doubt there would have been anything for the paramedics to do if this icicle had gone through the top of his head from such a great height. What a terrible sight that would have been on live TV. Number 9. Wintertime should be relatively snake-free, yet here one is slithering across the ice in the middle of February. The cold-blooded reptile somehow crosses the frozen pond and then moves towards the camera with slow determination. I'm not sure what type of snake this is or how it's able to survive these low temperatures. My guess is it was probably hibernating somewhere and got disturbed, but either way, a snake of this size is nothing to mess with no matter what the season. This video was taken somewhere on Kent Island in Maryland. If there are any more winter snake sightings in this area, then I'd say something strange is definitely going on over there. Number 8. Trenton and his friends are having fun fishing until he loses his expensive fishing lure under the ice. Thinking fast, he finds a long stick and tries to walk across the
No, dude.
half-frozen lake to find his lure. Some patches of ice are dangerously thin, so Trenton has to constantly poke the ice in front of him to see if it can support his weight. One false step will send him into the freezing waters below. If this happens, the ice around the edges might break away when he starts to climb out. Eventually, Trenton gives up on finding the lure and simply focuses on getting back alive. He spends almost 10 minutes carefully navigating the ice and nearly reaches the others when he makes a mistake.
You're fine.
No, dude.
Trenton is incredibly lucky to be back in shallow waters when this happens. His feet hit the bottom and he is able to quickly pull himself out. If this happened in the middle of the lake though, he would have been over his head and only had seconds to react. Number 7.
The size of this thing. We found him outside, he was frozen.
A YouTuber named Ben Northern is walking up his driveway when something on the ground stops him. He stares in puzzled disbelief and then realizes it's a giant arachnid sticking out of the snow. The glass jar could be making the spider look bigger than it really is, but here you can see it's almost the size of a finger. If someone is able to identify this spider, we can figure out how much of a threat it really is. Also, maybe it's just me, but it kind of looks like the spider moves a couple of times here. Perhaps it's just warming up and reawakening. Number 6. One day, a YouTuber named Michelle Burse and her friends are startled to find something burrowing beneath the ice.
Oh my
bridge.
god. Wow.
They are positive that something is causing the ice to crack and splinter as it digs a path under their feet. While I do see what they think, I'm pretty sure that this is just the formation of ice in real time. Still, I'd like to get your opinion to confirm. If I'm wrong, then I have no idea what could be shifting the ice like that. Number 5. A YouTuber named Morty Axe is conducting a train when an elderly man emerges from an ice fishing spot, completely unaware of the imminent danger he's putting himself in. The man only sees Morty Axe and not the other train coming around the corner. Now it's up to Morty Axe to react for him. I think Morty Axe definitely made the right call here. You can see the train is moving extremely fast, and he would have most likely been in the middle of the tracks if not for the horn. Fortunately, the man lives to ice fish another day. Number 4. This gray fish is frozen solid and obviously not moving at all. Yet within 20 seconds of being put in this liquid solution, something bizarre happens. I'm pretty sure this is nothing more than warm water, but maybe there is some sort of chemical in it that can bring frozen animals back to life. Then again, maybe this fish just hibernates for the winter and comes back to life naturally when the temperature warms. Let me know what you think is going on here. And if you think what you've seen is a miracle like the uploader of this video claims. Number 3. A YouTuber named Florida McKee uses Google Maps to hone in on a frozen discovery in Antarctica.
You have to look at this very closely.
Peeking out from the middle of a frozen pond is what appears to be a sentient ice creature. I can somewhat make out a giant head and left arm, but I'm not sure. Let me know if you can see it.
This is only about 170 feet long, so this easily makes it very, very likely that it's a known animal.
How big did he say? 107?
Easily makes it.
A giant head and left arm, but I'm not sure. Let me know if you can see it.
This is only about 170 feet long.
Wait.
Let me know if you can see it.
Feet?
This is only about 170 feet long. So this easily makes it very, very likely that it's a known animal, a known creature.
Oh my god.
It's hard to tell if this is an actual creature or not just by looking at a single still image, but I do agree it could be some sort of abnormality. My only other guess is a cluster of ice above the surface. Number 2. When Don Smith finds his 26-year-old son Justin Smith frozen in the snow, he refuses to give up hope.
I started shaking his head. No, you can't leave me. You can't leave me.
His son was walking home from a party when he collapsed in the snow and remained there overnight in -4-degree temperatures. Responding police and paramedics were convinced that he had passed away.
All signs lead us to believe that he's been dead for a considerable amount of time.
When they brought him to the hospital, doctors were able to revive Justin after 2 hours of CPR and somehow medically reheating his body. If anybody can explain what this special equipment is here and how it works, I would really appreciate hearing more about this process. As far as I know, bringing someone to life after freezing was almost impossible. If anyone can explain what any of these buttons are, especially the one marked LPM mode, it would be very helpful as well. As you can see here, Justin lost some fingers but is still able to retain most of the function in both hands. I am amazed considering he was in the snow for an entire night. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're in. So if you this way, number 1, these mummies were found frozen on Friday and Saturday. This way you'll be number 1. These mummies were found frozen at the top of the Pico de Orizaba A volcano in Mexico so tall that the top is nothing but snow and ice. It's a scary thought, but you'd never know that these mummies were almost 60 years old just by looking at them. It's also beyond creepy how the cold weather preserves them well enough to still identify facial features, and even the exact position they were in at the time of passing. The mummies were first discovered in 2015, but due to constant bad weather, the Mexican government was not able to extract the remains by helicopter until years later. I'm going to put your bravery to the test while I analyze these 11 videos that can scare anyone.
Bloody hell, man. That is mad, to be honest with you. 49 minutes. It'll be 50 minutes in a minute, but I'm gonna go. I'm absolutely shattered. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Like, comment and subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell icon so you guys get notified on when I upload or live stream. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Bye. I just realised, why do I look so pink here? Don't I look really pink here to you guys? That's actually really weird. Bye.